Sovu, or Suvu. She's going to help us. So Jenny Hapgood, really amazing, really impressed. I was really impressed with Adam, too. Can we get a big round of applause for Adam? Can we do that? I mean, he's overcome so much. Okay, sorry, that's all the jokes I got. Okay, so remember, you're going to go down to 4. We're going to play some guitars or something. It's going to be a strong signal. And then if you don't stop, I'm going to yell at you. Okay, which is fine. Okay, I mean, I like your product. I may even try it. My knee does hurt. Can I try your product?
Maybe you'll get a chance.
Okay. Well, okay. What about limp? Okay. I really do have knee problems. Okay. Take it away, Jenny. That's what he starts it.
Hi, I'm Jenny. Pain kills. 76,000 Americans died of opioid overdose death last year. 1 in 4 of those were related to prescription opioids. And that's where our story starts, with 2 doctors, pain physicians from Seattle. These 2 pain doctors saw countless patients frustrated and eventually demoralized by the fact that they would do procedures, injections, medications, and the pain would not go away. They saw lives also damaged severely by opioids. So they set out on a quest to come up with a better solution. And they turned to traditional heat therapy, and they invented the Suvu pain relief system. It's for chronic, musculoskeletal, and menstrual pain. It's an FDA-registered Class 2 medical device, no prescription needed. So here's how Suvu works. With our heat wave technology, Suvu delivers thermal neuromodulation. That means waves of pulsed heat. And those waves, a key pain receptor, the TRPV1 receptor, shutting off the pain signal for hours. These waves also create a wonderful soothing response that frankly makes this the most pleasant medical device you will ever come across. Our evidence. So we've tested Suvu through multiple randomized controlled trials, which are published in peer-reviewed journals. We've tested Suvu versus placebo using the Suvu product, Suvu versus heating pad. And with these trials, we've found the pain relief comes within 5 minutes and lasts 3+ hours. We've also conducted an 8-week at-home real-world study where we sent people who had moderate to severe chronic pain home with Suvus. With that, we saw a 60% reduction in their numeric pain rating score after 8 weeks of use. We also saw statistically significant improvements in quality of life metrics, walking, mobility, sleep, and self-reported productivity. We have very high satisfaction scores, and we still have people using Suvu 2 years later to this day on a weekly basis to manage their pain. So, our commercialization pathway. Suvu is currently available to employers as a workforce pain management solution. Think about the pilots, the construction workers, the drivers, all these different people who are in safety-sensitive populations. They can't or shouldn't use medication to manage pain. They need pain relief on the job, and they can use Suvu all day long at work. So we've added in digital coaching to address the psychological aspects of chronic pain that's delivered asynchronously, and we have de-identified reporting for the employers to track progress and utilization. Suvu will become available to consumers next year. We're also launching special clinical trials to look at the use with pregnant women in 2nd and 3rd trimester. We think with our strategy, we'll hit $50 million in revenue in 2 years at a 70% margin. We have an upfront program fee for the kit, followed by a monthly subscription for those who continue to use the product. Working on Medicare reimbursement, and we will be HSA and FSA eligible. So you can join us. You can help us reduce pain and increase possibility. Join our investment round. We're taking funding right now. We're also doing a Suvu giveaway this evening, drawing 3 complimentary systems at that URL. It's also in the QR code. And finally, you can lock in your pre-sale pricing and get a Suvu of your own. Who wouldn't want to do that?
Okay, big round of applause. Let's see. You're wearing it? Look at that. I'm wearing that now too.
All right, we'll fire it up for you.
Okay, so can you put a few more seconds back on the phone? So 3:30 is when we started goofing around. So I actually do have a real knee problem, and yes, this is a little staged, but I will tell you how it actually works. I've never tried this before, but I do believe in science. I like science. You guys have 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Who's got questions?
I got a question.
Okay,
First of
ladies
all,
first.
I love this device. However, who's paying for this? Because how much is this going to cost per patient? And if you think about the populations you're looking at, will Medicaid or Medicare cover these costs?
Yeah, so great question. Let me start with Medicare. So we would fall into basically the heating product, infrared heating product categories. So just a quick search of codes for Medicare reimbursement, you're looking at products that are $800 to $900 reimbursement rates off of MSRP of $1,100, $1,200. This product, we're pricing it at $699. Pre-sale, by the way, will be at $399. So you heard that? That's your chance. So, we think we'll be able to get reimbursement fine following that pathway through infrared heat. Now, obviously in the workforce pain model, it's different. We're going after a traditional participation-based model. So $600 upfront for the kit for 3-month pain relief program that includes the cognitive behavioral therapy coaching. So that would be upfront.
So I paused the timer for a second because this is a startup coaching. So pay no attention to this. Make your answers short. Okay, you can get more questions that way. Okay.
All right.
Continue the timer.
Followed by a participant engagement fee that's only charged for those who are using the product. So at the end of the day, it comes out to be about half the price of what they're paying currently for MSK programs for employees.
Do you consider TENS devices as competition? Kind of where you in this?
We do. So TENS devices are definitely competition, and TENS works differently. It kind of scrambles the nervous system a little bit and doesn't actually turn off the pain receptors. And I would also say, we have seen so many TENS patients, it's a very different experience getting electric shocks versus soothing heat.
What's the battery life?
The battery life is good for a year, and you will charge after 5 to 6 uses per day.
How long does the charge last?
Sorry, the charge will last you 5 to 6 heating sessions of 30 minutes each. Yeah.
How is scalability a factor with the coaching that comes with it?
So the coaching is delivered asynchronously. So we're basically doing private messaging. So coaches are able to handle, a case rate of 500 to 800 patients for back and forth messaging.
Great product. Is there a data capture strategy and how to use the information you capture?
Yes, so this is a Bluetooth connected device. So all of the data goes into the cloud stored in AWS, and we have our reporting portal for employers as well as later for building an AI engine around it.
Can you speak to partnership strategies that you would prefer?
Yes, so and that's really going to come in play as we get into the DTC channel. So physical therapists, physical therapy clinics are natural partners for it. Companies that work to do drug screening would be good partners for us, where it's very important people can't be taking medication. So we're looking for different partnership channels also into the B2B.
Do you have other business models other than the subscription-based?
Yeah.
Customers find it directly without subscribing the services, the coaches.
Right. So the other business models would be looking at our rental. And actually, the rental market is most interesting when we think about CBU for pregnancy, for pain relief during pregnancy, since that's time limited. Also, post-surgery and post-injury. We actually just finished a surgery, very small pilot for people who had rib fractures, and we saw an impact on spirometry readings for the patients in the hospital.
Okay, we are out of time, folks. Love it. Big round of applause. I will tell you, while the applause is taken, I will tell you, this thing is, again, this is not like somebody from the audience set up as a show. I really have knee problems, and this really feels good. So, great job.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, so, big round of applause. Take some time to fill out your forms. You don't get stuck yet, please. So it's actually, it feels almost like a little bit like a TENS unit. It's also a little hot. I do think, just product review, I'm a little hirsute, so you might want to take care of that first. So, but otherwise it's fantastic. I like it. It doesn't burn at all. Okay, so I think we're ready for breathing AI, and that was very intense, very exciting start. So this is probably, we decided that this was the point of the presentation to have this. So we had 7 minutes on the clock. Judges, you guys all ready? Timer's ready? Okay, remember going down to 4. Okay, you're gonna stand back there or up there. Remember to speak into the mic.
Test.
Your questions are short. I'm not gonna, I don't want to say things once. Okay, good. Okay, take it away. Hannes.
Hi, it's been a long day, so I'd like to invite all of you to take the deepest inhale of the day. It is the letting go exhale, letting go of any stress. Who here has a lot of like dry eyes, eye strain, or neck pain when they use screen for a long time? Up to 90% of people who lose screens for over 4 hours of screen time have neck pain and dry eyes, dry eyes. Currently, technologies are not adaptive to us. We have to adapt to them. It leads to burnout and low engagement, which is the number one problem of companies. The number one problem of companies, only less than 1 in 4 employees is engaged at work, less than 1 in 3 is thriving in their well-being, costing the global economy $7.8 trillion per year. And especially the current employee wellness programs are not working because they require additional app time, wearables, and meditation apps, even though they could be highly effective. So imagine you would get a reminder to relax your shoulders, to take a deep breath whenever you get stressed, or calming color filters to reduce eye strain, or soothing sound, bioadaptive to your vital signs. Our browser extension provides the most comprehensive and engaging wellness solution in the market, and it's a one-click activation. It easily runs integrated into your daily workflow. It's based on 7 years of pioneering XR biofeedback research we presented at Massachusetts, at MIT, Stanford, and Harvard. And we did a 3-month pilot with Ancora, a global digital health company, and showed up to 50% reduced stress symptoms, 11% more focus and productivity. Right now, we have the very high engagement rates, 48 to 50%. The free version of the browser extension is in 138 countries. Only word of mouth, no marketing campaign, and only 5-star reviews. And we're adding the vital sign-based bioadaptive personalization using the webcam and AI as well as wearables too. And the market is pretty large for the corporate wellness. We're very fast sales right now. We started selling in Q3, and we're mostly signing up SMBs, but we also have very large enterprises in our sales cycle. Very easy to activate, to maintain, low cost. And our current clients say we're the only product in the market that integrates into the existing screen time and doesn't put the burden to reduce stress on their employees. So we're B2B2C right now, but we're developing our patented machine learning technology to become a B2B with a hyper-scalable API. We're global traction, of course, without a marketing campaign, with multiple research collaborations for NSF, SBR grants. And our patent not only covers the personalization of screens, but also of audio and olfactory devices. So we are striving to be a complete company to bioadapt IoT, smart cars, smart homes, audio and olfactory devices to really become our best selves using screens or technologies. And I'd like to invite you to become part of our seed round. And we're a very experienced team with over 20 years of experience. And please invest in the future of AI with us.
All right, big round of applause. So if you think about it, we all spend a lot of time just sort of filling time, right? So don't do that. Because every second you take away from the Q&A, they're going to ask really insightful questions. It's going to help these people learn, right? Okay, enough lecturing. Judges, who wants to go first? Who has not asked the question yet? John Wee, have you asked the question yet? Okay, take it away.
How does the product work?
So it's a browser extension. You activate with 1 click, and then it gives you a break reminder whenever you need it, calming color filters to reduce eye strain, and soothing background sounds. So it's a very comprehensive platform, and then we're integrating the vital sign detection so we can analyze when are you getting stressed, what's your heart rate, what's your breathing pattern, when do you need a break, when we can reduce your heart rate with color filters.
What's your secret to keep the users engaged and retain them?
Yeah, so right now, a lot of people use Flux or other solutions, but they only have an orange color filter, so it's constantly guided to give them a color filter to reduce eye strain, and then for break reminders also that have information is really important. And then we have a gamification too, where they get reward systems, and then for the background sounds, we're always adding more content. So wellness coaches, I worked with them for many years, the Iceman, so we're having like very well-known wellness coaches, so they always get like better product every month.
Hello? Oh, okay. Can you speak to your CAC for companies, but does that look like, and also retention rates? People adopting and using it, how long do they stay with it?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're very early stage. It's first sales in that sense. It's just a few $1,000s. And then for engagement rates, they're pretty high, up to like 12 weeks. I think that's the most Google Analytics gives us. We're still in the like 20 to 30% range, but we're very confident that we can get that much higher, because right now a lot of people don't know when they activate browser extension that they have to click on it one more time. So sometimes simple things, we think we can drive the engagement rates even into the first few weeks into 60-70%, and then like getting more gamification in there, more personalization to keep that in the very high range.
Can you speak to your IP and regulatory strategy?
Yeah, so right now it's a very broad machine learning patent that's granted in the US, and we're extending it to Asia, Europe, and then we got another patent actually granted like last week or 2 weeks ago, which is not as broad as this, but it's like about like the loading time. And sorry, what was the other question? Regulate. So yeah, we don't require that. So we don't talk about we only talk about stress, but we talk about anxiety or depression. So we don't need special approval. So we can like be kind of like B2B, B2C play at the same time without the overhead costs for regulations. And we like HIPAA and GDPR compliant. So if we use facial detection, we don't use facial recognition, but if we do vital signs, we keep it running on the device of the user, so we don't stream it to the cloud.
Similar question to that. In your your data retention strategy, like how much patient data or user data are you retaining? And if you have a B2B strategy, what of that employee's data is going to the employer?
Yeah, we're very cautious about that. We're just keeping it on the device of the user, and right now no employer asks us to do that. It's just like that they feel good, that they feel better, and we're only storing for cohort and Google Analytics how much it's been activated, how it's being engaged, but not, we don't store those information personalized on our end. Yeah, like the trust of the user is at the core of what we're building.
So you're asking employers to pay for this?
Yeah.
So that's my exact question. Wouldn't they want that data?
Right now, so far, they didn't want that data. Like, but just engagement rate, because that's what we learned, is like engagement rate is like the number one problem for them, because the current solutions are at very low engagement rates. And so we provide that, but across the cohort, so we don't give them like personalized data on whose user is using it. Thank you.
Great job, Hannes. Really, really impressive. I love what you're doing. And somehow I feel a lot calmer, but it might be Suvu. I mean, it could be. So I like what you do with the presentation. I don't know if you know, but we did like 6 or 7 hours of pitch coaching with these teams, and your next team came to almost every session. Really just came a long way. Aisha McCain, really amazing entrepreneur. We won our first It's Friday pitches contest that we ran on Clubhouse during COVID. We ran them every week. I think we ran 50 contests. It was crazy. But she won the first one, and we've been working, looking, watching, hoping, coaching a little bit, and we try to bring it to this point. And we're very excited to say she's at this point. It's very exciting. She just won a contest. We crowdfunded $51,000, sponsored by Black Girl Ventures, but lots of actual patients and regular which is going to and Aisha, you have 7 minutes. You know how to do this. Judges, everybody's ready? Everybody's good? Okay, I give you Aisha McCain. Take it away, baby.
Hi. As a 14-year-old ran away from a really abusive home, I had 2 choices: sell my body or sell drugs. I sold drugs and went to prison for 5 years. When I was released from prison, I was diagnosed with stage 2 cancer. Hi, I'm Aisha McCain, inventor, founder, and CEO at Casual Recovery. After my second cancer diagnosis, while going through 14 surgeries, my body was on bed rest, my brain was on business, and I invented a solution for the 25% of all surgical patients that require drains. The current standard of care for a surgical drain is a safety pin. Bulbs the size of a lemon full of biological matter are safe to pin on a patient's clothing. It's really gross. People don't have to suffer that indignity anymore. I am proud to introduce the Casual Recovery drain management solution to prevent complications. One drain complication costs $10,000, with U.S. healthcare spending up to $400 million treating complications. My surgeon, when he was at UCSF, he believed in this so much, he did a study that indicated that our garment actually, the patients had no complications and accelerated the healing process by allowing people to move with comfort and dignity. Our utility patent has a strategically located interior pockets designed to accommodate any drain, any site, minimize pressure, and allow the drain lobes to fully expand. Our pediatric garment has a superhero cape. I was looking for superheroes. I couldn't find them, so I created the young superheroes. They're pediatric superheroes to empower, encourage, and educate kids because representation matters in healthcare. My chief medical officer has identified multiple other possible uses for this particular product in hospital settings. I also have 5 other patents pending in the U.S. and internationally, including life-saving technology for asthma and EpiPens. The total serviceable market and addressable market for drain care wear is astronomical. I've built a powerhouse team of dedicated experts who strongly believe in my vision to change the standard of care. We're seeking $1.25 million in seed money to launch Casual Recovery, take this first product to market, and get us where we need to go. I would love some strategic partnerships. And thank you, Alex and MedStarter and Health and judges and just everybody for listening.
Woo! Thank you, Aisha, for bringing that. And you can see, I was modeling one of the capes. Jenny Hapgood is helping out. You can go do the catwalk, please. The catwalk. Okay. So you can see if anybody wants to, try it on or see what it's like, figure out, what it's good for. This is not part of your time because it's Alex doing his shenanigans, and I will do all the shenanigans I can think of to make you guys understand what these things are. She's been shipping me her products. They've gotten so much better. I mean, literally, the first one, I was like, really? But that was over a year ago. And these are so much better. They're great. And this is still working, I'd like to know. Judges, you guys got questions? Hey, Eugene, you got a question. So Eugene and I are part of what I call the notorious TBG, Three Bald Guys, because we've been together since 2008. It's his fault. Everything you see here is his fault.
No, I lost all the hair because of you, man. Do you see the scalability of the business across new product lines, or how far can you stretch the existing product?
So I think we can stretch the existing product pretty far, but also new product lines, they're ready to go. So I would like to do some licensing of the asthma technology. But I'm focusing on the first product.
Can you speak a little bit about your sales forecast, what you've done and where you'll be soon?
So we're just now launching. So we're ready to take orders now. So the forecast is, I believe, I have someone here in my team that's a really good question that can speak to that better. Because my brain is AJ, yeah. But, sorry.
Hi, I'm AJ. I'm part of the team. Are you sure you want to talk about total addressable market figures that you run?
So there's 7.25 million surgeries a year in the U.S. that require drains. So the total addressable market is that times 4 garments per patient that insurance would reimburse. I know what you're asking me about those numbers, and my brain is just, but I can literally pull it from the show.
Have you done any trials and what was the feedback?
Yes, so my surgeon at UCSF did one 30 breast reconstruction patients, and they loved it. Um, on a Likert scale of I think 1 to 5, we didn't score below a 4.5 on anything, and more towards the 5. And no complications. Those patients actually, had their drain removed and healed faster because they were more active because they would leave the house. Thank you.
Are those 30 patients the only ones that have used it live?
Well, I used it live through 14 surgeries developing it, and different friends and people that have surgeries have used it live, but that's the only that have been studied.
So I know you said you wanted to get your numbers, but how much do you think you'll sell it for?
I'm thinking around $50 per drug.
What's the margin you're expecting on that price point?
So, we at that amount, like it'll be like a $30 margin.
And who would pay for it? The patients or who would pay for it?
Insurance. And also additionally, like the private plastic surgery market, so more like elective surgeries that aren't covered by insurance, they would pay for it if they had surgeries that require treatments.
Do we have any questions from the crowd? Anybody want to ask a patient? Okay. No more questions? Okay. Well, it is the end of the day, and
Thank you.
so I'm going to go ahead and say that Aisha has something that you can't teach. She's the scrappiest entrepreneur I've seen in a long time. So great job. Big round of applause.
Thank you.
So another one of our startups just came here. Mark Rippin from Allergy is back there in the crowd. I've taken off the Subu device, and I know Mark often has aches and pains, so we're going to get another tester. If anybody else wants to try it, please get in line. Okay, so we've got Dave from, I always mess up the name.
Leo.
Thank you. Very exciting company, very late entry in all respects. But you know what? Better late than never, because I love what you're doing. Okay, so judges are ready. Everybody's done their thing. Also, incidentally, with several of the companies, if you're playing the home game, if you're on the internet, you can actually order the devices or the whatever, or get the special offers through the links that you'll see on the websites, on the direct links to buying it. So that's also part of how this changes things. Okay, so 7 minutes, go down to the 4-minute mark. Judges, you guys ready? Ready? Playing on your phone? Okay. Oh no, she's not playing on her phone. She's judging. Yeah, she's judging. Okay, take it away, Dave.
Hi everyone, I'm Dave, CEO of Leo. Behind me is one of the world's greatest humans. Maddie used to work at Goldman in London, ran the London Marathon. Amongst her many hobbies, there's skydiving and wind walking. But despite all that, she goes home every night for the past 20 years and took herself up to a dialysis machine. But she would never want you to call her a dialysis patient. That's because she works really hard to make sure her access stays open, her blood levels stay right. Despite all that, about 2 years ago, she was hiking up in Scotland, top of Ben Nevis, when she felt a little faint and lightheaded. And she thought it must have just been the hike. But when she went home, she unfortunately passed out and found herself in a hospital. And the reason for that was because her vascular access had failed, which had led to her potassium becoming very high, and a potentially fatal arrhythmia landed her in the hospital. And she's not the only person who struggles with that. There's 3.7 million patients on dialysis worldwide, and 37 million people here in the US who have kidney disease. It results in lots of hospital stays very frequently, and an astounding number, which is that only 1% of the Medicare population results in almost 10% of the Medicare budget. Out of hospitalizations is $14 billion of those dollars. And 85% of them are due to these three issues, which are entirely preventable, but we just don't get the right data at the right time. And that's where we at Alea come in to make a non-invasive solution from a wearable to be able to get that right data at that right time. And certainly from the payer perspective as well, and the physician, the provider, and the patient, it was important to be non-invasive. have reimbursement available, and really embrace a massive shift to value-based care in this clinical condition. But beyond that, we've also seen the rise of RPM and wearables over the last decade. A plethora of devices come to every patient's home. But low compliance and not getting the right clinically actionable metrics mean you can't solve the issues that patients like Maddie are facing each day. And that's why we here at Aleo have the all-in-one solution. So just with a little patch, not only the ability to just get your basic vitals, which is already FDA clear, but being able to move past that into other arenas like hemoglobin hematocrit, the world's first to be able to do potassium non-invasively. Overall, the next 24 to 36 months, the ability to get all of your vitals and a basic metabolic panel non-invasively. What that means is something like hemoglobin hematocrit. It actually is, if you look at anemia for this patient population, that's Medicare's single largest drug purchase every single year for about $4 billion, 80% of which is wasted because we don't know when to give the patient their drug at the right time. If we look at where we can certainly not only help dialysis patients, but if you have any chronic care condition, getting the right data at the right time, which meets or exceeds the current standard of care in a scalable platform that's not afraid to go through the FDA pathway to do the right thing for patients. So if you want to join me on the path of doing better RPM for chronic care, please reach out to dave@aleo.ai.
I just want to say, they're all rock stars. We're still geeks though. No, but he actually got it done exactly in 3 minutes. That's not easy. So great job, David. So judges, you guys got questions for David?
Amazing progress since we've last spoken. The FDA approval, when did you get it, and are you already full commercial?
We did our first clearance Q2 of this year. We are adding on hemoglobin hematocrit and potassium that's currently going under review right now. So we expect to launch into the dialysis market. Given the value of those two key metrics, that's what will become available about Q1 of next year is when we expect that, and then around for both any patient population. But we already do have revenue generating contracts with the U.S. military for what we have out there today.
Excellent product. A few things, IP. Can you talk a little bit about that? Competitive space, what are you looking at there?
Sure. So we have about 17 patents granted already and about another 2 dozen in process. What we do differently than your Apple Watch, your Fitbit on your wrist, your Philips, your Massimo on your finger, is we don't just take an average of that capillary bed. We actually figure out a way by placing this over your radial, your brachial, your carotid, or your femoral, the ability to only look at the photons and interact with that underlying vessel. That leads to a much higher signal to noise, which means you can leverage our AI platform to get all those metrics that you saw up there. And so that's what really, I think, differentiates us from your chest-worn wearables that are getting your basic metrics and are limited just as much by location as they are by technology.
Have you spoken to potential clients? What are they thinking, and who do you partner with?
Sure. So we've got some great partners from the NHS in the UK, Intermountain Healthcare here in the US, to be an international, all very much from a dialysis perspective. What that has meant is a massive pull into some other areas like heart failure to do initiation therapy, make sure you use the right medication for the right patient. And so we've had a lot of reach out from RPM, et cetera, so really trying to be able to expand the opportunity and the ability to service, quite frankly, the need. The inbound is very, very large, and we're trying to raise more money to be able to service the inbound that's here today.
Why did you build this?
So, saw the patient problem firsthand. So, was in medical school, was headed off to a vascular surgery residency, and just keep seeing the same patients come over and over and over again. And we knew that if we did imaging, for example, we could solve the problem. So, how do you solve a sampling error problem with sensors and software? Disappointed my very Indian parents, told them I was going to take a year off surgical residency, and here we are, just quite a few years later. So.
You mentioned Medicare, what's the reimbursement strategy?
So there's been a massive shift towards value-based care within dialysis. That was both the ability for patients to opt in to Medicare Advantage. So now it's almost 40% of the dialysis market, should be almost 50% later this year. That was also the HLTH, the Advancing American Kidney Health Initiative, enabled RPM to be outside of the dialysis bundle, but you have to show the ability to be able to actually tackle the key clinical metrics that matter for the patient. So about half the market is value-based care, lots of hospitalizations, results in about $36,000 per patient per year of those preventable hospitalizations. We can save quite a bit of that. Or there's RPM at about $250 per patient per month. That's now outside of the dialysis fund.
How long have you been working on this? Is there a strategy for international expansion?
Indeed. So it's been about 5 years. We already have a relationship with the NHS because of the work that we did together. We're now part of the NHS Renal Digital Playbook. And then one of our other launch markets is in the GCC as well with one of the UAE's largest insurers. So we've been working both international GCC and the US will be the launch markets.
What's the patient experience? How long does it last? Where do they have to put it?
Yeah, so with the dialysis patient population, they put it over their vascular access. Already, they're required to get monthly blood draws. The NHS was sending nurses to patient homes to do this 3 times a week. So for them, not another needle, not invasive. I know where to put it because I can see it on my access. I can wear it, lasts about 3 weeks. Battery lasts 30 to 60 days, kind of adhesive limited, and getting a lot smaller our next hardware iteration.
Okay, so we let that last question go because it was a patient-focused question. But big round of applause for Dave. Good job, man. That was excellent. Killed it. So please take a moment to your judging. Please do not take the mic and everything away. You just leave it here. I believe it's Florence. I don't know. Yes. Okay, so a little confusing back here. So everybody judged. Eugene, make sure you. Okay. So if you are using the app, make sure you go through all the way to the end, so that the scoring gets submitted. So if you're using paper, make sure you hand it in to one of our people. They're all over the place. Rob back there, the Steve Bank will do it. He's a good person if you're going that direction. Okay, we got 2 more teams, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Then we're gonna do the prizes on stage later in the week. Very exciting. We're actually giving out real investment. We just have to make sure we look at all your data, do our final bit of due diligence, and make our deal. So, without further ado, one of the most amazing teams we've seen lately, Florence from Meet Caregivers. So you know the rules. Take it away.
Great. Hi, everyone. I am Florence from Meet Caregivers, and my partner, Ivan, as well. So we are super excited to be here to introduce Meet Caregiver to all of you. So Meet Caregivers is an innovative senior care platform. Our goal is to make it easier for seniors to connect with the best caregivers that can assist them at home with daily activity, but also help them manage the care. As you all know, the population is getting older. 10,000 Americans are turning 65 every day. But what's very interesting is the fact that 90% of seniors don't want to age at home. They don't want to be moved into a nursing home, no assisted living facility. Unfortunately, as you all know, or probably already has experienced, finding a caregiver for seniors is extremely difficult, stressful. Unfortunately, I witnessed that when I was working as a caregiver myself. So many families felt overwhelmed, stressed. They didn't always know where to go to find reliable, skilled caregivers to support their loved one. This is the reason why we have built Meet Caregivers to solve this issue and support millions of seniors nationwide. Our matching system specifically match seniors with the right caregivers. Our technology take a look at 4 main factors: the care needs, but also go as far as understanding the interest, schedule, and also the personality. Because the goal is to connect seniors with somebody that do not only have the skills and the training, but also the right personality to care for them and actually get along. So up to now, Meet Caregivers has been able to match thousands of seniors and then decrease caregivers turnover rate from 82% industry to less than 30% and increase the satisfaction as well. In addition to that, we have a tracking tools that facilitate tracking coordination between the entire care team member. We are up and running right now. Meet Caregivers is growing rapidly. We are currently now in 14 states and looking to be in 30 plus states as well. What's great about Meet Caregivers is we work not only with family directly, but we also partners with institutions, health plans, employees, senior care community, so that we can support the members and provide them a full service care solution for them as well.
what differentiates us from other players, besides the matching algorithm and the care tracking tools that are built in-house, is the ability to provide different levels of care. We do not only focus on companionship. Our caregivers can provide personal care and assist our clients with activities of daily living. In addition to that, all our caregivers are W-2 employees. We are growing rapidly. We're now in 14 states, and last year we hit a 10 million revenue. Right now, we're raising Series A rounds. We're looking to raise 15 million in order to support our expansion and continue developing our technology.
So join us, investors, partners, so that together we can support millions of seniors to age happy and healthy at home. Thank you.
Woo! Who are you? Okay, so that's a good example of a double presentation. Nice timing. Okay, I'm sure judges, you guys got a ton of questions. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm actually, I gotta go there. I've done home health for over 20 years. What bothers me about this model, perhaps you can explain it to me, who assumes the risk here? So let's say grandma picks a caregiver about your lovely back and all that. Everything goes swimmingly, and then there's an incident, an event. Who assumes that risk? Does your company assume that risk? Does the individual caregiver assume that risk? Who's doing that?
That's a great question. So with Meet Caregivers, contrary to platforms such as care.com, we take time to really pre-screen all the caregivers that join our network, because once we match them with the seniors, they become Meet Caregiver W-2 temporary employee. So we guarantee satisfaction and the work they provided with seniors. If there's any issue, the family can contact Meet Caregivers, and one of our care managers will be able to support them.
So you carry liability insurance?
We do. We have liability insurance, workers' comp, everything that the state requires.
Can you talk a little bit about the business model, B2B, customer acquisition costs, retention?
Yes, our business model is pretty simple. We charge hourly rate per care. In terms of our margin is about 40%. With the health plan, for example, we are looking at doing a PMPM model and also hourly per care services as well. In terms of customer acquisition, since we have the B2C and the B2B model, most of the B2C acquisition is mostly focused on online presence, but with the B2B model, it's more affordable due to the fact that we are partnering with health plans that are sending their members to us.
Can you comment on margins when you get to scale?
Our goal is to, in order for us to remain sustainable, is to keep the margin to about 40%, if possible.
Who are your natural partners to drive success?
Yeah, so we have 45 plus senior care communities, Bright Horizon, CIC Health. We are launching with Blue Cross in different locations. We are currently in contact and negotiating contract with Scan Health Plans, Anthem, and even United Health Plans as well. So our goal is to really work with all the major healthcare players or health plans.
How do you ensure you find to hire more qualified caregivers compared to other businesses?
Yes, another great question. So Meet Caregivers, as we mentioned earlier, our matching system definitively focus not only just on making sure that seniors are matched with the best caregivers, but we also make sure that the caregivers are matched with the right shift or position that they are looking for. So that's very attractive to the caregivers. When we onboard them into our system, we have a great understanding of their background, their personality, what's the schedule they are looking for, and how far they are looking to work, and even how much they are looking to make. So we want to make sure that the matching is working well for them as well. So those are some of the benefits that the caregivers really enjoy when they join Meet Caregivers.
Okay, that was fantastic. Love what you did there.
Thank you.
I put my sunglasses on because these are real rock stars, right? 10 million in revenue, doesn't get much better than that. So really great job. And everybody. She actually had 3 seconds left, but the thing is, I think you guys got the message. Rockstar, right? Okay, we got one more, and that's also the reason to sort of hurry things along, because we all got things to do. There's a party going on over there, right? So let's get right on to it. Nanoware, bring it away, man. Sorry.
Ben Varthan, co-founder and CEO of Nanoware. We're a New York-based FDA-cleared healthcare at home platform, combining cloth, nanotechnology, software as a service, first-of-its-kind machine learning-based diagnostics. Finally, bringing healthcare to where we all are, our homes. Over 100 million Americans have been diagnosed with some complicated form of cardiology, with 30 million patients' disease irreversibly regressing to the point of a procedure, implantable device, or a life-altering surgery. A loved one in America dies every 34 seconds from cardiovascular complications. The only way to sort of curb this end-stage nearing is to offer recurring cardiopulmonary assessments at home to understand the trending of these individualized progressive disease. The problem with home health platforms is that they don't offer these assessments. They're forcing their patients to go and see their cardiologists in person just to get their chest touched with a stethoscope, check their blood pressure, electrocardiograms, breaths per minute, lung capacity, hemodynamics, pulse oxygenation, activity, movement, and posture. These are decades-old diagnostic tools that are deployed at different times, different visits, by different staff, and most importantly, time synchronously aren't talking to the same back-end data system. Nanoware, we asked ourselves, what if we could combine all 7 of these first-line diagnostic tools into a single device-enabled platform that offers a substitute for these cardiopulmonary assessments to be done at home? What if that same platform can go to the last and most important mile, which is triaging individualized cardiopulmonary risk while the patient's at home? That's the goal of remote diagnostics. We accomplished this just 9 months ago, launching our SimpleSense platform in the US. Here, the patient, via prescription, gets a gender-neutral, size-adjustable shoulder sash and wears it for 45 minutes, sending and providing a full cardiopulmonary workup and summarized data trending to their physician digitally in real time. Don't take our word for it on efficacy. We point to our multiple FDA clearances and our Tier 1 peer-reviewed publications that have reviewed the comparative data against multiple gold standard devices. We give our device away for free and charge a data services ARR model per patient per month, selling into cardiology-based OEMs, therapeutic providers, and CRO channels that serve these channels. We got over 1,000 patients on the platform in just 9 months. We're consequently raising a $20 million Series B round to scale that traction and accelerate the growth. Very operationally and financially efficient. The market's the only sort of company in town that has a cloth nanotechnology and this machine learning-based diagnostics differentiating. We've also scaled our production here in the States, as well as having a very valuable IP portfolio of 11 awarded patents, 13 pending. Couldn't have done this without the best team in the world. We really just get the right talent from the right places. Beyond cardiology, $100 billion market, lots of different places we can go. Precision medicine, adaptive clinical studies, not just decentralized clinical studies, military, industrial safety.
I know your deck. You got like another 2 minutes here. Wrap it up in 15 seconds, please.
Right at the end, biggest reason we probably built the company is to really serve the underserved community, really singularly driving the biggest cost of our healthcare system. We want to bring healthcare to homes as well. We're Nanoware. We bring smarter care anywhere. Thank you, MedSmart. Thank you, Health 2022.
Woo! Love what they're doing. One of the most amazing companies I've seen. Doing it for the right reasons, too. Okay, judges, I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. Judges, anyone?
Can you tell us more about the device? So you say you're giving it for free. Maybe can you share the cost? And how long does it last? Do you have to change it every so often?
So the patient wears it for 45 minutes. We don't see a use case for longer than that, just given the data trends and the studies. The shelf life is 360 hours. So if a cardiologist needed a patient, a really sick class 4 patient, to wear it for 1 hour per day, it would be a year of shelf life. That's what we have with FDA. On the device for free. Basically, one patient uses this about 10 times. The amortized costs of the device basically go to 0. So we can charge a per patient per month out of services ARR model. We're not really targeting any use cases that aren't on the platform for more than 12 months.
Amazing technology. Can you talk a little bit about your partnership strategy and who you're going after with first and what are you saying?
Yeah, so our first partner is a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded OEM in the space. We have one other LOL structural cardiology, a publicly traded $10 billion plus company that will hopefully be able to announce by the end of the year, and 2 device-focused CROs we're expecting to convert into contract from LOL in the next 2 months.
Talk a little bit about the customer experience, utilization, drop-off, what happens?
Yeah, great question. On a 309 patient hypertension study, we had 91% compliance in use, 97% compliance in patients that would want to do this in a clinical study at home as opposed to driving 50 miles once every 3 months, 6 months. That's where we can get the initial value follow is that, these decentralized studies, they really need to be adaptive studies. And if you can't get out to the community centers and just do studies at Mayo Clinic, you're really going to miss all the data that FDA really needs for these digital products.
Can you talk about this model? The reason physicians are still going to physician offices because that's how the payer model is built upon. So how do you get physician support to use something that may cannibalize their potential revenues?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm going to answer it in twofold. I'm going to answer the latter part of your question first. We're starting on a B2B with OEMs, CROs, and therapeutic sponsors. The reason is that they'll pay us per patient per month to get that data-driven insight from phase 2A all the way to a phase 4 registry study. That's going to be super important not only for them providing it data to the payers, but for us to sort of absolve ourselves from that value data typically. But once that's actually done in sort of pushing it, it's not like we're going to Mayo Clinic or Cleveland Clinic and saying, hey, we're gonna cannibalize you, the cardiologist there. This is really mostly for the rural communities and the community centers. They don't have to support their outpatient clinics anymore. The preoperative and postoperative consults aren't where they're making money. They make their money on the procedure. And so it's not really a choice for them anymore, sadly. It's really an issue of need. And we're the first to admit we got lucky with the pandemic kind of pushing that.
I was just curious, you got cut off a little bit at the end on mission about the underserved populations in rural. Can you give us a little bit more information around, uninsured individuals, Medicare, Medicaid? How are they getting coverage for it? How are they getting access?
Yeah, so again, sort of a phase 2 of us, once we have enough data to prove the value-based care programs. Ultimately, once we're at sort of units of 10,000 in production to 50,000, our costs get immensely cheaper from production. So we would love to be able to give this at a very, very reduced cost. So right now our margins are at the 95, 96% margins.
Okay, big round of applause for Beck. Good job. I love what you're doing, man. So that's it for this contest. We do have, I don't know exactly what it's going to be. They haven't told me yet. But we're going to do the prize. We're actually going to be handing out actual investments. So we're going to close our deals in the next day or two. A lot of it's going to be based upon what you guys put on those cards. We put on those forms, which put in the app. So please take a moment. You'll see anybody who works with MedStarter or teams, please hand in to those people like Rob Dillian artist back there. Raise your hand. Anybody can accept one. We're just bringing them to me. So I want to thank all these people, Pat Hurd, especially the AB team over here. Andres, Chase, putting up with all the craziness. Thank all of you, because without your input, it would just be us deciding, and that's not good enough. So I also want to bring up, there's an after event later tonight, which Nick Atkins is hosting. So that's here. So join us to double down. In all teams, let's go deeper, and this is also part of the process. So I just want to thank everybody for coming. You guys are awesome. And also I want to bring up all of our portfolio teams and all the people who won our contests. And we're going to just play a little music on the way out. Have a great night. Drive safe. Enjoy the party. If you have questions, want to invest in the fund, feel free to come up. If you like any of these companies. But do not forget to turn in your forms. You got paper forms. I'll take them up here. All the teams, come on up. John Lee from Triage, Careset, all the winners.
Oh, I'm not texting you. He must be at home.